Zero. We make everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells athletic. The closer you are to nature, the healthier you'll be.
Happy Saturday, everyone. I am Carolyn. Welcome to the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. Thank you all so much for being here. Today is going to be a great show. Please make sure to share the live as you're coming in. Drop comments. Let us know that you are there. You guys know I always like to say hello to everyone. So please go ahead, drop your comments. Make sure to give the stream a thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to us when we get those thumbs up. So please go ahead, give us a thumbs up. Drop your comments. Let us know you're there so we can say hi to you. We are live streaming on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. So thank you again so much for being here today. We are going to be discussing personalized nutrition and precision prebiotics, gut health and fiber maxing, functional foods and nootropic nutrition, last but not least, sustainable and anti inflammatory eating. Great subjects. Please go ahead, again, drop your comments. Let us know you're there. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here on stage so we can get started. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Carolyn.
Hello.
It's good to see you. This is another one of those times we want to say thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in again and continuing to, because we're definitely picking up more and more members. And we just love that we have people following us now and that these people are being consistent. So pass the word, keep passing. We're very, very thankful that you are supporting us. We appreciate it. We have great things, bigger things as we continue to move forward. One of the things I want to do is to make sure that you set your calendar to the 16th of this month, August, because we'll be back at Mount Tabor Missionary Baptist Church at 9 to 11. And look, I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this just because I'm doing it, but it's so great. The very first part of our session is a support group. So we actually sit down and we talk about those things that we have difficulties with, and you'll be surprised at the therapy for getting yourself on the right track, in the right direction, with the right energy. Is really invaluable. So you should come out. If you do that, that is a inspiration that we can share with you to help make better choices in the foods and the drinks. Understand why the colors of foods are so important, the aromas, all of the things that we probably have missed in our regular class or the regular education that we get when it comes to health and nutrition and fitness. So let's keep that in mind. Remember Mount Tabor Baptist Church, and a shout out to all the beautiful people there. And thank you very much for your support. By the way, we had a really, really wonderful class our last class at Mount Tabor. It was just flawless, a lot of energy. Everybody there was ready to move. I loved it. I loved it. Did you enjoy yourself, Karen?
It was a lot of fun. It really was. And it was a great workout too.
Oh, yeah, that workout was,
Workout.
yeah, my legs were like, hello.
And
Uh,
you had us doing some like, I was like, okay, this is a workout, but it's a lot of fun, and it's what's needed, and it was just great.
Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely it. That we had that energy just surround. We just you can't miss, because that's one of the beautiful things about sharing. We talked about that our last show. I think we talked about the how important it is. It's a difference between working out by yourself and working out with a group.
Yes,
And
absolutely you did.
the difference is that the group really helps you to push yourself past some of your norms.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. I just want to go ahead and shout out some folks that are here to support, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Shirley Gentle, saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to you.
Woo!
You've been here. Yolanda Rogers, good morning.
I'm
Blessings for
good.
you, Dearborn, Michigan. What up, though? Oh, absolutely. What up, though?
Well, that,
I know. Dr. James Thompson, good morning. Excellent.
hey, now, Dr. James.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, I really appreciate it. You can thumbs up, let us know you're there, and just enjoy the show. Dr. Zari, I'm
All
ready.
right. All right. I'm ready too, Carolyn. Another thing that I wanted to remind everybody of is to mark your calendar for February the 7th. February the 7th is a Saturday, and I'm going to have a really big celebration. I want you to be there. I'm letting you know ahead of time. We'll be celebrating, it's a birthday celebration, of course, and we're going to have music, we're going to have food, great people. Just going to be really wonderful. So make sure that you, if you have to fly in or you got to get here, however you got to do it, make it happen. I'm just letting you know early on, and it's going to be great. So I just wanted to go ahead and now announce that because I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
right, let's get it on. Let's get it on. And remember, let us know what's happening in the comments, the way that you feel, your questions, and if you are wanting to, say something live, we can do that too. Like, and of course, like Dr. James and other doctors, nurses, if there's something that we'd love to just, bring you up. We don't mind at all. We need your help too, as much as we are fighting some of these things that are just very difficult to get past. Okay, like when we're talking about the very first thing that we're talking about anyway would be some of the personalized nutrition and precision prebiotics. Well, this is we'll talk about that, but it's very important to really take time, as we'll be taking time talking about the hottest nutrition trends. The food and nutrition landscape is evolving rapidly with these new trends and shaping consumer choices, health priorities, and business strategies. We stay on top of the latest evidence by adding, or I should say, by attending the different types of CMEs, which are some of the continuing education webinars. We are an educational group that are definitely excited and thankful to be able to share with you as we analyze the research and we review the insights from nutrition and business sources. Now, my goal specifically is just to help you to cut through all the noise and identifying the trends that are not only popular but also backed by science, and that's super important. Now, as we continue with the the show today, what I want you to keep in mind, what can you extrapolate from what I'm saying so that you will be able to use it immediately? Write these things down, come back to the video, listen to it again, and get started. That's the most important thing. You got four things I want you to keep your mind on: your nutrition, making better choices with the food; your exercise, making sure that you're moving and that you are boosting your metabolism. And then you want to make sure that you are getting uninterrupted sleep. Now, I don't mean just to be up 3 and 4 or 5 times a night. Uninterrupted sleep. It makes a huge difference in the level of your health. And lastly, your environment, being around people who love you back, people that appreciate you, people that you're happy to see. And this is something that you'll find is just it's incredible, because once you get past the um, understanding that you can't do this alone, you will be very, very thankful that you have someone that you can actually call on. Now, when it comes to this personalized nutrition, one of the first things that jumps to my mind, and maybe we align on this one, and that is the GPL ones. You know, the whole different package or variety that we get when it comes to Ozempic and other Ozempic-like products. Now, we'll talk about that more today as we go along and as we continue to grow. But one of the biggest things is, let's look at the pros and the cons. Okay, we're increasingly drawn to this tailor-made dietary strategy, and that's you can think pretty much your in artificial intelligence powered meal plans. And the thing about it, I won't rush to the con, but some of the things like your AI powered meal plans, and then the continuous glucose monitoring, the home test kits, and all of this is just to align the health with the personal metabolism, the DNA, or the microbiome makeup. Now, these technologies, they can be expensive and require sophisticated tools beyond the reach of many. And that's probably, in most cases, is going to be the big problem, is when a person uh, when people are using these particular tools, that they'll be very expensive, was putting a strain on your budget, and everything is a little higher now, more expensive. I haven't ever spent this much money on groceries before, and this is a good time to use those skills, those budgeting skills, so that you'll be able to not only survive but to continue to thrive. So let's look at some of the pros of the what we're talking about. Those of you that's just joining us, you're in the mind of nature, and we're talking about some of the hottest nutrition trends of 2025. So now we're on the personalized nutrition and the precision prebiotics. Now, we talked about some of the scientific needs or the technologies, and we're just going over some of the expensive and required sophisticated tools. Now, the scientific validation is still growing, and the personalized protocols may be over compromised or uh, over promised, while over delivering. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, and under delivering. Because if they're over promising and under delivering, it's usually because the scientific validation is still constructing, or is still growing. So, in order for these theories to become facts, and scientific facts, it needs time, like everything else. It has a balance and a process. Next, there are other things that we want to keep in mind too, and that's the privacy and ethical concerns over the genetic and the health data usage. In other words, there's a lot of people now, if you haven't heard yet, when you go and get something like a DNA test, you really want to make sure that you're asking for all of your information, that you still own that information because it's a part of you. But what is happening with a lot of the DNA, those different clinics, and some of the urgent care centers, or just the DNA centers, they're using a person's uh, information, and they're holding on to it. You have to read the paper, read the information there, because it might say that that particular organization owns your um, information, your DNA information, and you want to find out more about what you're signing to, because I know in the past we just sign stuff because you're like, I'm not reading the 8 pages, but you do today. Believe me, it's worth it. Sometimes when it's causing for that, if it is an emergency, you want to take time and read it, or have your lawyer read it if you have an attorney, or you can also, there's a lot of wonderful um, attorney groups that you can go, legal assistance, legal aid, and it's very, very helpful. Okay, let's get back to we talked about some of the pros, but now let's talk about some of the cons of personalized nutrition. And personalized nutrition also, when we're talking about that, we're not just talking about those things like Ozempic, but we're talking about the um, different organizations now. They give you this little test, and then they show some of the things that your body is deprived of, those things that you may have a deficiency of. And then what they do is they put together this formula, and this formula is a mixture of those things that you are falling short of. Make sure that you don't just rely upon this personalized protocol. You want to also keep your mind on the things that you can do that are natural, like, cooking, for instance. A plant-based is a part of plant-based eating, is definitely how we prepare those meals. So don't get comfortable and just go ahead and start acting like, I don't have any responsibility. I do exactly what I want to do here. So keep that in mind, okay? Some of the practical steps when it comes to personalized nutrition and the precision prebiotics, like, start with a baseline testing, a simple food panel like microbiome test or food sensitivity assessment can guide your plan. You want to also track your daily habits. Log your meals and sleep, your stress, and your activity to spot some of the correlations with energy, mood, and digestion. So, yes, it is a responsibility. Now, some people say, man, I don't have time to be doing all that. Well, if you don't make time right now, you will have to later on. You'll be forced to do it in order to live. So you want to, especially those that are over 40 years old, okay? If you're over 40 years old, that's why you start, actually, in some people over 30, but mostly over 40, you will start feeling differently. Things like your flexibility changes a little bit, in the next year a little bit more, and on and on. The changing of the body is just as natural as you breathing, and your challenges will definitely be there. Now, some people just are, whew, man, so fortunate that they have wonderful DNA. They can really, like they're very flexible. They have strong joints. They have great endurance. All these wonderful things. And then other people need help, like they do need these different types of medications in order to help reduce the blood pressure, or to lose the weight. All of these things. Some of the other things, when you talk about um, tracking your daily habits, make sure that you're talking, when I say log your meals, write down what you eat for your first meal. You might just do that one time, and you might do that just for the week. But guess what? If you only did that once a week, for a whole year, you got 52 meals right there of what you're eating. So you can make your own. You're on your way to making your cookbook, or if you're not interested in that, at least you have something that you can draw a menu from. Now, there are some of the hidden pitfalls, um, such as the over reliance on the algorithms. And now, this is when I'm talking about tech. Now, tech may give an inaccurate recommendation if the data input is incomplete. So, when we start using some of the artificial intelligence, your feed your the what you get back is going to reflect what you put in. So you're not going to get a solid answer or a complete resolution if you don't have a complete explanation for the problem. Okay. Now the over complication is turning your eating into a science project can cause decision fatigue. So that's when you are eating, you don't want to overcomplicate anything. Sometimes you have to eat what you've been eating, but eat it in smaller portions until you can make the transition of eating better foods, making better decisions. And I want to go back to DNA. The a private, and this is like referring to a privacy risk. Your DNA and your microbiome data storage may be vulnerable to misuse. That's why I brought it up earlier. uh, when people can use your DNA and that information, that is something that you should keep in mind. That belongs to you, and when it's in the hands of other people, you don't know what they're going to do with it. And I'm being a little pessimistic because you should be. That's my defense mechanism, and that's yours too. When you are people are taking a part of you and then using it for their own prosperity. Last thing I think for this part of our show, the cost creep. The cost creep is monthly subscriptions, and you have also your test kits and your supplements. All of this can add up quickly, and when you have this kinds of changes in your spending and the reliability of or the lack of it when it comes to spending money on what keeps you healthy, you don't want to compromise that, because still, as high as things are, is still cheaper than you having to go and get an operation or having some extensive work done for illness. Okay. All right. We're going to go back up to Care and see what we got. Any questions, any comments, and then we'll continue from there. Care?
Hey, Dr. Zarif, great information. Just want to shout out those that have joined us as well. Allison Gentle in the house. Hello, hello.
Hey.
Good to see you here. Denise Kane, morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And Daphne Smith, good morning. She says she's here. Yes, you are. Thank you, Mom and Dad. So great to have you both here. Dr. Zarif, you mentioned well, two different things that I just noted. Some people needing the help with weight loss drugs, meaning they need that help, something to get them started because it's harder for them to drop that weight, the weight that they should be dropping, so they're now able to move better and exercise and get to that next level. So I think that's great that when you mentioned they needed the help to get them started, but it's when someone stays on the drugs and kind of use it in a way where it's more abusive to their bodies more than it being helpful to get them started.
Excellent point, Care. That's absolutely on right on point. Because what happens is, this is a scary thing also about when people say we have a cure.
Mhm.
because when people have a cure or they have a different protocol that they're saying, hey, when we do this, this great thing happens to you. Well, it's these are we're talking about tools. The tools are things that we can use to better ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we have to be on it for a lifetime or any
Right.
long time. Yeah. So that's really great. So if, for instance, if you take an aspirin for a headache, after the headache is gone, you don't continue taking an aspirin like just in case I'm gonna take one. You
Hmm.
see, these
Right.
are tools, and these tools will definitely help you if you are consistent and you're committed to being healthy. So that's a great point.
Absolutely. And then also you talked about DNA and getting back the information. It, whenever you go and you get that DNA test or whatever it may be, that procedure, it makes me. I thought about when you hear mothers, especially Black women, having babies and the placenta. I've heard about the placenta being something that the medical industry makes a lot of money off of. You know,
Yes.
so that I remember people saying, or I've heard, like on the internet, the, people mention actually getting that placenta and having it as yours. But I mean, it just reminds me of that. So I wonder if that's something that people are doing, if it's something that anyone's, know of any person that's done it, or even anyone in the comments that would have any information about something like that. Because I think that's interesting, because a placenta is something where you feel like, okay, that's supposed to not come home with me, you know. But that was something that just came to my mind when you said something like that, because I know that that's something that's important. But how does someone take care of something like that? How do they even, maintain it, so to speak, if that is something that they plan on doing? So I don't
Well,
know.
that's a great concern. One of the things, the very first thing I would say, Care, is to go to OBGYN because these are the experts when it's in this that particular genre of medicine.
Uh-huh.
But in the meantime, this is also as important across the scale that when you every chance you get is to know more about yourself. And when you study the placenta, you know that the nutrients, just imagine all of the nutrients because it is there to serve the transportation system of the nutrients going to the fetus.
Right.
And it's really great to know that about yourself because it's like if you don't, people can just say, we don't need this. That's just like a person that um, you know takes your tires off your car and then puts all new ones on. Your other they didn't know that the amount of rubber on their old tires still got 20,000 miles on it, so
Right.
they're like, no, go ahead. But they're making money off that because they
Hmm.
would take a used tire over buying a brand new one.
Yes.
And it's just the knowledge of it. So that another good point is really important that we know ourselves. Knowing ourselves is so important. And again, remember, I think that it is very necessary to say that it's really up to you how your body or your life is going to turn out. And a part of that is to get a chance or give yourself a chance to understand more about your body. You should know about your body from head to toe.
Hmm.
And I don't mean just the size of the head or the neck or I got big muscles and all that. I'm talking about understand the boundaries. Like, if you are a person that drink a certain beverage or eat a certain food, how much fiber. I'm going to go for fiber maxing later, and all of these things. Again, it comes back to you. It's like in this. Uh, Janet Jackson has this. I forgot the name of the CD, but her this all the way through it, she said, it all comes back to you.
Hmm.
It's really a really great philosophical for me, and it was a jam. You know, yeah.
A
So why
win.
don't we, do we have many? I'm sorry, we say
I said that's a win-win.
a win-win. So let's go over here, and we're going to see how we doing. Oh, okay. Up here. Whoa, hello everybody over here in Instagram. Thank you for being here. We have Nasli is here. We have Angel, is it Angel? We have the GSC Adventures, I believe that is. Okay, I broke that up. And then Plant Based with Jen. Go, Jen. Michael, how you doing? He calls me brother-in-law because I married his sister when I was 17. So even to this day, brother gives me so much love. I'm so glad. I love him, love him, love him. That's man. I can tell you stories, but Michael is one of my favorite people in the world. We had just so much fun coming up, and I also want to say hello to I love you, Michelle. I think that's slick because you get a person to say I love you even if they weren't expected to. I love you, Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Fish.
That's really good. So everybody, thank you for being here today. And I'm going to shout out to Sky Aim Productions in the house. Wow. We loaded over here on the Instagram. Super good. So thank you for being here. Okay. And did you have another question?
I
I
did not.
thought I heard. Okay.
No.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's get them. Let's get them. Okay. So next, now what we want. Let's go over the gut health and fiber maxing. I was talking about that earlier, and some of this, the nutrition itself just remains centered on improving the gut via the prebiotics. So the nutrition remains centered in improving the gut via the prebiotics, and prebiotics are the foods that the probiotics depend on in order to have a healthy level of probiotics. And that will be the prebiotics would be the probiotics, the fermented foods, and particularly ramping up the fiber intake. A trend popularly known as the fiber maxing. You'll hear that as time goes on. It's pretty fresh and new, but fiber maxing is just what it sounds like. It's increasing your fiber. If you're eating all that fried food, well, you know you're grown, you can do what you want to do. But what is important is that you neutralize or you add something to that so that it doesn't do uh, we can reduce some of the havoc that it might, in uh, probably scarring or the different things that it does to your digestive system, constipation, the uh, um, endothelium, the uh, all of the wall or lining of your digestive system, the danger that it can also cause or damage to your colon, the ascending colon, the transverse and the descending colon, along with the sigmoid and your rectum. All of those are exposed. Now, remember, we talked about in length some of the things that you should be aware of. And some of the things that you should be aware of, again, like when it comes down to the choices that you're making and what you're eating, a lot of those things, it can make a difference in your life and your life level. You want the optimal performance, the optimal feelings in your entire body in order for you to live the life that you want to live. Now, some people they're good with okey doke. They're good with it's okay, and I'm going to stay like this, and I made it this far. I can make it a little farther. Well, I don't know about that one, because that can be very risky. So let's look at some of the gut health pros. Supports digestion, and this I'm still talking about fibermaxine also, but fibermaxine and some of the gut health pros would be that it supports digestion, immunity, blood sugar control, and even mental health through the gut brain axis. And we'll talk about that axis later. But keep in mind that we all of this stuff is just connected in our bodies. So we have the different microorganisms. We have the immune system that we're constantly boosting and understanding the metabolic process that continues or that keeps our systemic self moving constantly. Also, some of the pros tend to foster more diverse plant-rich diets. So, in other words, like the plant-rich diets comes from it's a choice. You can be on all of these different the paleo, keto, South Beach, all these different types of diets. But when it comes down to it, it is important that each diet is plant rich. Now you do have some people like in paleo that just that eat more meat and animal products. Um, I am, for me personally, this isn't something that I enjoy. I don't eat meat. I don't eat eggs. I don't eat dairy and all that. But my thing isn't that I don't eat scrambled eggs just because you don't suppose to. I don't eat the scrambled eggs because of the raising of the risk to my body, and I know that there are things that will make it more difficult for us to digest, to process, and for our bodies to be at its best. And the reason for making better decisions about what you eat, keep in mind that what you eat either does one of two things. It increases your risk for disease or it decreases your risk for disease, period. Is as simple as that. You can say I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, I'm lacto vegetarian, I'm all of those things. I'm flexitarian. Most people honestly would be flexitarians because a flexitarian is how most people eat. But we won't go there today. Say that for another day. But things like kale, for instance, kale is super important to not only with the green, the chlorophyll, the not just in the texture or the roughage, as it's called, but the protein in kale is also one of those foods that are very helpful for those that are plant-based eaters, or if a plant-based consumer would be also, vegans, and you have your preference. But for every eating style, you should, in most cases, add more rich diet. If you're already a vegan, make sure that you are, even if you are a vegan, you want to make sure that you're eating these foods that are rich in nutrients, because some people think it's just enough just being a vegan. You got to get the strawberries, the blueberries, you got to get the walnuts, the oats, the steel oats, the old-fashioned oats, the millet, all of these things in your diet, so that you'll be all of you'll be the better. Okay, some of the cons when it comes down to the gut health and fiber maxing, you got the gastrointestinal distress, and that's like all of your flatulence and your bloating, your constipation that can occur if the fiber is increased too rapidly. So make sure that you increase it little by little. Some people will just go in and go for one of the fibrous meals, and you're going too fast. Your body reacts better when you just add it little by little. So, in other words, like if you are having a problem with the bowel movement, it doesn't work immediately. You have to take the herbs and you sip the herbs, and you go to the next day. You increase the fiber, and then the next day you increase the hydration, the water. So it is a mixture of things. Now, if the overemphasis may overshadow other critical nutrients like protein, fats, and certain vitamins. And with the one size fits all fiber guidance, it may just miss the individual tolerances because they are how much you eat and how much I eat. Remember that biochemical individuality, it makes a big difference when it comes to, especially those people with IBS and certain or similar conditions. Okay. Let me see what else I like to share on this. As far as the gut health and the fiber maxing, that I gave you some of the principles and some of the basics, but let's just go over that again. To increase the fiber slowly, so that means 3 to 5 grams more per day to avoid digestive discomfort. And then you want diversity, or like to diversify plant foods. Aim for about 20 to 30 different plants weekly to support a broad microbiome. Again, 20 to 30 different plants weekly to support a broad microbiome. So all the colors, you want the red lettuce, the green lettuce, a butter lettuce. You want the all the different types of kale and spinach, baby spinach. You want the sprouts. All of the different things that are in that category, and you want to mix it up. Make your plate very, very colorful, and this really makes a huge difference in how your body will react to what you're eating. Then include both the prebiotics and probiotics. The prebiotics, they feed bacteria. I'm talking about prebiotics, and we said that before. The prebiotics feed bacteria. That's onions and garlic and oats. Probiotics, they add them as for the better stomach health, better colon health, and that's yogurt and kefir and kimchi. Okay, so keep that in mind. As long as you're eating again those healthy foods, you're going to be okay. You really help to lower the risk of disease. And that's what you want to do, because that's infection, that's a disease, that's illness. So we want to get rid of and death itself. So we want to reduce, that's what we're working for every day, to reduce the risk, okay? And don't go after this throwing something in your mouth, something in your stomach that is disadvantageous to you, because we're talking about eating things that are very helpful, okay? Ignoring the balance, that's on you. Don't do that. If you are drinking, hydrating your body all through the day, like with every meal you're drinking, that's how you get the 8 glasses in. Some people get a big bottle and they just guzzle it all down and say, "Oh, I met my quota." But you want to do it through the day, because there are spots all through the day. You're going to have about 12 hours or more that you're going to be up. 12 hours or more, that's a half a day. And those other 3 hours are used for other things, traveling. You're doing work in the house. There's family, social activities, and all that. But remember, we sleep about 8 hours. So that means that about 16 hours is going to be used for eating and movement. And the last 8 hours are going to be used for relaxation and good sleep. So don't ignore the balance. Focusing too much on the fiber can just sideline your proteins, your fats, and your micronutrients. Um, and it's this is really important to also make you aware of that all probiotics survive digestion. Not all probiotics survive digestion. So some of the supplements are low quality and they don't reach the colon alive. So when we're talking about keeping your the reaching the colon alive. We'll go over that a little more, but because we need to talk about those finger like projections that are in the colon and that is responsible for peristalsis, which moves our waste out of the body. And these are things that we all experience. And lastly, over fermentation risk. Now, those people that get this over fermentation with these drinks like kombucha, the kombucha is a drink, and when you drink it, sometimes it's stronger than Coke. Coca-Cola, that is. Now, I want to be clear. So it's like the when you're drinking the kombucha, it can be some of it can be those people that add the carbonic acid to it, to the drink, to give it that or soda like feel. And some people like buy it and they take it, but we talked about what that does when that effervescence does to your teeth and what it also does to your the tissue or the lining in your mouth and all the way down to your colon. Okay, so over fermentation risk, too many fermented foods at once can cause excessive histamine reactions in sensitive people. So keep that in mind, everybody. We're going to go back up to the wonderful care and see what we got. Any comments? Care, you're
I'm
on.
here. Thank you, Dr. Zarif. You know, I don't see any comments on that session, but you mentioned eating a certain way because of reducing the risk of disease and premature death, and I think that's a really great a really great way to think about it, because for me that's being proactive, right? Making sure that you are set and you don't I don't want to say don't have to worry about, because there are things that we have no control over, but at least the things that you have control over, that's what we are focused on. And if you know that eating a certain way causes certain diseases, then that's what you want to do when it comes to preparing or making sure that you are here for as long as you can control being here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Care. Break it down. That's good. I can't, that you said it, and that is very important.
Yes.
And it's so important that we not get caught up on the things that, for instance, that we've always done. And when we get caught up on things that we've always done, we get the same results over and over. But usually, in some cases, in most cases, even if a person has had healthy um, habits and they get over 40 years old, again, I want to come back to that because the age does make a difference,
Hmm.
and you will feel the difference because it is natural to get older. Older is not like old. I said that before.
Hmm.
Like if you old man, you old. When people say that to you, remember stand your ground.
Yes.
Stand Brown. Don't just say, yeah, man, shit, I'm old. I ain't no good no more. I used to be. Forget that. That's noise. You want to like, no, I'm older. See, when you put like stronger, uh, when you put like newer, like when you put like faster, the means more of something. Okay,
Yes.
and that's what we do when we're getting older. We're getting wiser. We're smarter. We're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what when a person gets to a certain age, look, first of all, congratulate yourself because all of the stuff that could happen while you're living is incredible, and
Mm.
it's almost to uh, you're blessed to be able, if you're, shoot, 60 years old, 50 years old, that in itself is wonderful.
Exactly.
Some people don't get a chance, off those soldiers that's out there fighting for their lives and fighting for our lives. Sometimes they don't make it that far. You have other things that happen even in birth, that a child is brought into the world for a blink of the eye and they're gone. It's some with life comes those horrible stories. But if you are one that has the fortunate um, blessing to be here, make the best out of it. That's what we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Not the people that's going to be crying about, oh, I'm so old. And we're going to all, I'm with any, if this is true, that the creator, whoever created, whatever created the way that we are created, we're the way we create. I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to say this is so unfair. We got to die. It must be perfect. You are here on time and you're going to leave on time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see that, yeah, because our understanding about missing people and loving people, sometimes it makes us super sensitive. It's very hard to take. And we all have lost loved ones. And if you haven't, you will. And that's not me like, oh, he put a curse on me. It's like, it's just talking about these are parts of life. And with life comes the ending of life, the transition of life. And
Yes.
it's really beautiful when you think about it, because 100 years, I've said to some people, well, live long and prosper. And then, I'll hear a retort, well, I surely hope not. Just,
Mm.
60, 65 years is good enough for me.
Oh, wow.
What? What? The thing about it is that's their choice.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see me hanging around a person like that, but that's their choice. And you see, when people, especially those people that have gone all over the world, traveled, they've seen what they think is everything, and they're like, their views about death are a little different than a person that's hardly done anything, no traveling, no enjoyment of a beautiful family, no having children, not they have a different outlook.
Right.
All right, Kara, let's go get them. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and the next thing. Let's go over this right fast. I'm going to speed up just a little bit here. The functional foods and the nootropic nutrition. Now, the demand for foods, um, that do more than satisfy hunger is surging. Now, the consumers want mental clarity, stress relief, immune boost from adaptogens, nootropics, and antioxidants, including mushrooms. They're all packaged in everyday foods and drinks. So, all of these nutrients that I just talked about, this is really important that when you are eating, you want to think about, okay, how does this benefit me? Not just eating just for the heck of it, okay? Uh, One of the things that when we talk about the pros of the functional foods and the nootropic nutrition, one of the pros could support the cognitive function, which is really important because when you're talking about cognitive functions, you're talking about memory and you're talking about focus. Come on, everybody, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. This is really important. So the foods that you're eating will help to support your functions of focus and memory. Super, super important. And then you have immunity and you have stress resilience. The Especially the ingredients like the citicoline or the adaptogens they're clinically backed. Now, skewed toward holistic well-being and their accessible health benefits. So those are some of the pros when it comes to the functional foods. But let's look at some of the things that the cons of functional foods. The quality and efficiency vary. Many of the products, they may contain minimal active ingredients. So if you're eating a lot of stuff that's been on the shelf, you got some beans that you're going to eat and they've been on the shelf for 6 months. They may not poison you, but you will definitely have a loss of the vitamin, the nutrients. Okay. And another kind would be exaggerated marketing risk, the exaggerated marketing risk overshadowing solid science. And that's just misinformation and disinformation, by the way. And that is important because people do exaggerate marketing risk. Adaptogens and the nootropics, they may interact with the medications, or they can be contraindicators to certain prescriptions. Make sure that you check with your doctor before taking these medications. And it can also, one of the cons would be it can cause the unexpected effects of sensitive individuals. And some people don't know themselves well, so they are very, very sensitive and they don't know how and why. Some people don't even know that they're walking around with certain diseases because they don't take exams. Go in, get examined. Yes, I know it's difficult. Go in, have somebody go in with you. I would go with you if it was practical, but it's not practical for me and my schedule. But it is, you have people that love you and that want to go there with you, people that will support you. And ladies and gentlemen, you cannot do this by yourself. I already hear somebody saying, yes, I can do it. You cannot do this by yourself. And I guarantee you, if you get a person that becomes a part of your team or your team, the both of you, you can be much more beneficial, or you can be much more successful than just doing it by yourself. So we went over start with one goal, and that's improving your focus and reducing the stress. Then choose the foods that match that benefit. Number two, you want to make sure that you look for clinically studied doses, especially the nootropics like L-theanine. You probably heard of that before. We'll go into that later on. I usually talk about more of that when we're talking about the different valine and isoleucine and tryptophan and all the other different amino acids. Lion's mane is another. Those mushrooms are very good to know and understand how and what part do they play in your life. And lion's mane is one of the substances that people eat when they want to help to control cancer if they've been diagnosed with cancer. You can read more into that, but many people that have stomach cancer and other different types of cancer also use lion's mane in their total approach. Also, you can use ashwagandha having some of the same qualities and benefits. Now, use the food first. incorporate those compounds. When you talk about the food, you're talking about again all the different colors and shapes, and it's just really wonderful to have all these things that really make a big difference in your life. And you should, because guess what? You might be real powerful with a lot of things that are that you eat and things that you drink. But if you don't start making better choices, see, you can bad choices can take you away from your family. Bad choices can interfere with your working schedule. Bad foods or bad decisions can take you away from a better life. If you got a new kid, you got in your family, high wisdom. You got new babies in your family. There's another new baby, William Faulkner Jr. Congratulations. Got a new, I believe, a girl. And to his beautiful wife, we want to say congratulations, Mary. Good job, good job. Keep beautifying America. Now, there are some other things that I wanted to talk to you about as far as tracking. A track response, like you note any changes of your mood and your cognition or your sleep for over 2 to 4 weeks. And this way you can start at least looking at where you are and get a cuff. The stuff, this is cheap stuff. It's not expensive. Get that, start taking your blood pressure. You can take it every now and then. Take your husband's blood pressure. Take your wife's blood pressure. Check on your children, making sure that, yeah, you got to ask them that. How are you having? What kind of bowel movement are you? Mama, my bowel movement is hard. And then you start doing things that will help them to soften up the stool, the waist, and to increase the girth. And these are very, very important. Okay, I'm going to go back to Care now, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish off Care.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. It's funny. As soon as you said hi, wisdom, I saw that Chantel was watching on Instagram. But
Oh,
Instagram, it's at that hour limit, which we are at. But we're a little bit over, but we're doing great.
all right.
Yes, that's why I always tell everyone go ahead. It's great that we are able and available on the other platforms, Instagram and Facebook. But sometimes there are some limitations. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that way you always get those notifications of when we're going live. Just wanted to point that out there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. And that was it. I know we are at a time stretch, so
All right. Well, I'm going to take these few minutes to go and do this. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's go back to it here. Now I'm going to just talk a little bit about sustainable and anti-inflammatory eating. Okay. This is really, I think that you'll get a lot from it because look, when it comes to it, it's only one of you. I know you heard this stuff before, but we need to hear this as much as possible because the things that we do and the way that we feel and how we perform in life has a lot to do with making those right decisions. Making those right decisions. So I'm not preaching, I'm teaching. I do know that if you can make these or allow yourself to make better decisions, you will get a great reward. And that reward is that you will feel how optimal health feels. And that's what we want to go. We want you to be around as long as this life will give you and to enjoy loving you, respecting you for the rest of your life. And that's what it's all about. Okay, so when we're talking about some of the sustainable and the anti-inflammatory, we spent a lot of time on anti-inflammatories, but we're going to keep doing it so that you'll remember it. It's never too much, never too much, never too much. There's a widespread focus on the eating for health and planet embracing anti-inflammatory foods like the omega-3s and the leafy greens. Just that alone, if you keep in mind just that alone, omega-3, those are the EFAs. Remember, we went through that, the essential fatty acids. So you want your omega-3s. You want to make sure that you're eating other healthy fats too. You got, your extra virgin coconut oil, you have your almond oil, you have your walnut oil, you have avocado oil. These are some of the oils that will keep and protect your brain from shrinkage and hardening that some people do go through, and they end up with different cognitive diseases. Okay. Regeneration is the regeneration or a regenerative agriculture is super important. Clean sourcing and reducing the sugar are some of the things that you can do. We haven't said it much about sugar today because we don't want you to think it's just sugar that's a problem. It is definitely a mixture of problems. So let's move on to, again, your meals, making sure that they look beautiful. All some of the stuff looks so good, it's almost like you can smell it through the photo. The pros, again, want to add, especially to the anti-inflammatory diets, they actually support aging and cognitive health. Chronic disease prevention is another one. Chronic diseases are like those, heart disease and atherosclerosis, cancer, diabetes. All of those are some of the chronic diseases, and we need chronic disease prevention. Sustainable practices, regenerative farming, for instance, plant-based shifts, all of these things align with wellness and with the environmental stewardship. So it's taking care of the earth and reducing that footprint that all of the steer and all the other animals need in order for us to use for food. And there's definitely, when we get to that, we can talk about that, because that discussion really requires some attention and respect when we're talking about it, because we're talking about sentient beings being killed, and so we'll use that for another time, okay? But I wanted to bring up sugar again. Reducing the sugar actually helps to enhance long-term metabolic health and aligns with the consumer demand for natural options. And that would be those things that would simply replace the sugar or substitute the sugar. And stevia, for instance, would be one. And then you have other different other types of sugar. I don't want to go through the whole thing because we'll get to that later, plenty of time. What we do want you to do is to minimize the sucrose. What is sucrose? Is table sugar, okay? And other sugars that you may be eating on a daily basis, like aspartame. See, with aspartame, or you have other different types of sugars for sweetening your coffee and cocoa and all those things. So just be aware of that, okay? The cons, when we're talking about the cons, we're talking about the sustainable and regenerative products. Often they come from a premium, limiting accessibility. The anti-inflammatory labeling can be imprecise, and it can be overhyped. And we want to get the truth about these things. A lot of times, the exaggeration of pushing that particular product is right over our head, because it comes with music, it comes with a little flashing and shows you somebody that's happy. That's what the commercials really sell us. They sell us happiness. Lastly, I just want to say that the dietary shifts, they may require effort and adaptation that consumers may struggle to sustain. You don't want your dietary habits to be a strain. They cause dietary fatigue. And that means you just don't want to eat like that anymore. You don't want to be healthy. You don't care. And when you get to a person that doesn't care and they are indifferent, you have a very dangerous person to themselves. That's personal. And you can see a lot of sabotage with people that think like that and live like that. Lastly, let me just go over these things. Prioritize your whole foods, and that's the base your meals on vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, whole grains, and omega-3 rich foods. Did you hear me? Go back and play it again. Get it. Shift protein sources. That is to blend your plant-based proteins with sustainably sourced fish or poultry if desired. But you also have other foods that are plant-based that you can blend with your other proteins. Okay, you don't have to get into a big debate about it. This is your life. This is what you choose, and is you'll get back what you're a result of that choice. Use seasonal and local produce. It reduces your carbon footprint and it maximizes nutrient freshness. Flavor smart. Be flavor smart. Your herbs, your spices, your healthy fats can make anti-inflammatory meals satisfying. You got to have the fat, the oils is what really makes the food pop. That tastes delicious. And some of the there are some hidden pitfalls. And again, that's overdoing it, eating too much. Remember small amounts, even if it's so delicious, makes your eyes roll back. You want to avoid overdoing it. High cost barrier, the organic and regenerative foods often cost more. So keep that in mind. Don't even go there looking for a deal. They just cost more. Why? Because they're better. They have more nutrients in them. And also a reduction of those things that could be uh, harmful to your health. And then the imported superfoods paradox. Long shipping distances can offset the sustainability gains. So something that's, when this is from Italy or you want this special thing from Nova Scotia or something like that, keep that in mind. Long distance or long shipping distances can offset the sustainability gains. Now, there is the confusion labels, and that the confusion labels come with natural, clean, anti-inflammatory, often lack strict definitions. So when you see that, you will see that the different foods that we are eating and the food groups, uh, they sometimes will come. The product will come with these names: natural, clean, and all that stuff. Lastly, the nutrient gaps risk. Eliminating the entire food groups without proper substitution can cause deficiencies. When people say, "Oh, I'm not eating that," okay, if you're not going to eat fish, you got to have a backup there. Don't leave fish and then go into, I don't know what else to eat, but I'm not eating that. And, some of it is understandable, but you want to be very practical and very respectful to yourself. Give yourself a chance to be remarkably successful with eating a food that you want to eat for the rest of your life. Okay, let's go back up to care. That was fun.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Just great information. It's funny because you just kept adding on the things, and I was like, oh, there's more, there's more. But that was great. There was a question from Dr. James Thompson in
Okay.
regards to referring to canned beans versus dry beans, and
Yeah.
and he asked 6 months warning. So I'm not sure if it was like 6 months warning in regards to um,
Shelf life.
maybe shelf life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's the thank you, Kara. The I didn't mean to cut you off, Kara. I'm
Oh
just
no, go ahead.
okay.
I'm used to it.
Were
No,
you
I'm
finished?
kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Man, that makes me hate. Okay, let me get it. Dr. James. Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that too, because yeah, up to 6 months, no more than 6 months, I would say it's time to change those, and or use them before, not change them, because that's when it's surplus. So you want to make sure that you are using those first, because again, the supply, the nutrients or the nutritious value does diminish as time goes on. So, but when it comes down to, you know, old people or people during in the South used to take the beans and they would can them. They would put them in the jars, the KERR, those jars, and they would keep those for a long time, and like those gels, the jellies, the jam, and all that stuff for a long time. So the canned food, although they are made better now, uh, still there's a lining inside that I don't know how long it lasts and how long it takes before that is broken down and becomes a part of the beans. But I'm sure it would take a very long time. I would say be very aware and astute to the different things that are happening uh, as a part of the choices that we make. And the beans will be okay. I think beans are also nutritious. If you, again, you want to get them, eat them before 6 months are up, and I do the when I run out of the food in the shelves, then I'll go and I'll rotate. I'll take the foods from the pantry and put them up in the shelves, and then I'll buy newer food for the stored food. Get it? So the storage is like I always have that for emergencies. You never know what's going to happen. You might wake up and say, "Oh man, what happened to the neighborhood?"
Mm,
Or we can't go outside, or it's flooding, whatever the situation is. I'm not like, I don't walk around paranoid with it, but there is, as you know, if you've been keeping up with the news, a lot of things that hasn't ever happened before has happened, especially when it comes down to the climate.
yes.
Okay.
Great advice. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Let me see. Darcel, thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. To anyone that's just joining us, a reminder the replay will be on YouTube. So that's where all the replays are. So if you're joining us late, no worries. Go ahead and rewind and you can catch it all from the very beginning. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. Great show as always. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif.
A pleasure. And I want to thank Dr. James for being here today. And we need to get together. Please let me know. Just send me a message. Let me know what's the time that's good for you. Because we got to have you on the show, and we got to talk about your book. So please do that. Oh, those people who are in Detroit, Michigan, I will be in Detroit, Michigan, September the 10th through the 13th.
Okay.
So make sure I'll be doing things like I'm going to do a big master's class with fitness. We're also going to have several presentations. And what else are we doing? Oh, yeah, I'm going to also give a master workshop in martial arts. So we'll have a lot of the black belts that I've known in Detroit to be there. And we have been friends from Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Chicago, Philadelphia, and some others. I can't forget where is he coming from. Milwaukee. So we have a lot of people coming in. It's going to be great. And we're going to do some karate, wushu, and taekwondo. It's going to be really beautiful. So thank you very much, everybody. Again, thank you, Care, for your wonderful uh, hosting as usual. And we're looking forward to it. We got nothing but love for you. Thank you, family, for being here. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.